Hello gamers, my name is Anders Silch and I'm very happy to be a part of one of the Squirrels Nuts videos. I am one of the platoon leaders for the PlayStation 3 platform on Battlefield 3 and Battlelog. And I'm here to try and explain a bit about the platoons and why we have two on the PS3. And also trying to give some tips and tricks for how to make the gaming even better. First of all, there is no big difference between the regular Squirrel company and the Squirrels Ops group. It's basically a fun way to make the squad or platoon bigger and be able to have more members help us in our gaming and playing for objectives. What we have done is that the regular Squirrel Company platoon doesn't require that you wear the tag, and you can play when you can and how you can. We try and set up fun games, and we also try and set the times according to UK times, since we feel that's a good base of time measuring. One issue that's been common is that not every member has a headset, but if you do, please use it and put your setup to team in the game menus under squad section. So you're not only talking to the squad you're in, but you're talking to the whole team. That way we can communicate easier and divide up which objectives which squads go to, and be more as a unit and less as random guys running around like crazy chickens. That's a quick tour through Squirrel Company. What have happened is that we also needed to create something called Squirrels Operation Group, which is basically the Swedish version of the Special Forces or Navy SEALs, so to speak. It's regularly called Special Operations Group or SOG. This is a measurement to be able to have more than 100 members with the Squirrel tag and have them as a part of our community. The Squirrels Nuts are doing a great job, but the community is growing. We have around 7,200 subscribers to his video channel, and his movies have been viewed about 500,000, a bit more than that, I believe. So we are constantly growing, and at the moment we are about 100 members in Squirrel Company. And when I'm looking at my computer screen, I also see that there are 70 soldiers that are currently wanting to become a part of the Squirrel Company on PS3 platform. This means that we have to try and sort out which players are mainly squirrels and which players just want to be with the squirrels. And my solution for the problem is to create an equal platoon as the regular one, but just naming it something else, and having it a bit more tuned in or set up. In the measurements is that when you are playing as a part of the SOG version, you are required to have the Squirrel tag. You are required to play at least once a week, preferably 2 times a week or so, an hour or two at least. And we also require that you set up communication, use Team on VoIP, and squad up with your fellow squirrels as possible for the maximum gameplay. All communications are English, which means that we have a ground rule of English speaking, of course. One thing to make sure for everybody here is that the SOG group is not an elite version of Squirrels. It's more a fun group of members that are dedicated to being Squirrels and have Squirrel tag at all times, even when they're playing games in other locations. We also hope and like that the members of the SOG will help and support and mentor the regular Squall Company players and players in general within the battlefield, so that we can get better games overall. Of course, there is becoming some problems when it regards to like the Squall server. RandomHATO has sponsored the squads with a dedicated server, and me and Random try and do map swatch, map lists and different things to make it interesting. And the Squirrel's Nuts asked me to try and sort out a problem that he have acknowledged, which is that a lot of squirrels would like to play together. And obviously all of the squirrels are dedicated nut collectors and also playing the objectives. A big problem with this is that commonly on the server lately, and also a bit because of me probably, is that we're getting a lot of squirrels on one side teaming up using Team VoIP and playing the objectives where squads have specific assignments, and we get really good results, which means that we get no enemies because no enemy wants to stick around. So hopefully this video, or my talkings here, will try and solve a bit of this problem. My suggestion for this is that we will try as squirrels to divide up. We will try and be at least 4 on each side and possibly more. And hopefully also we will try and make it so that the members of the team that are not squirrels will feel welcome, will try and play the objectives and be a part of the Team VoIP. So if you see new members showing up in your squad, or if you see new members showing up of the team, try and remind everybody, set VoIP to team, talk with each other, squad up and make a good game out of it. One common problem is that a lot of maps actually endorse or promote a bit of spawn raping. For instance, if one side is very strong and the other side is a bit weaker, on Sienna Crossings, in Conquest, you regularly team up and get the fight around the riverbed by the US base, or just shutting down everything and have everybody in the Russian base camping out in that little square outside a big bank building, or what you suppose it could be, where they have a rush MCon usually. And of course it's no fun to be on that side. Mostly I would say that all games can be turned to either winning side. It's just a matter of finding a solution to the problem. This is commonly much harder if it's a bunch of random guys that doesn't know each other. And I feel that it's much easier for all players if we try and evolved into becoming squirrels, taking the non-squirrels with them in the flow, and hopefully get a better game. Another problem that's been occurring quite often regularly on the games now is that we tend to get to be more as a solid team of players than just random gamers talking up and playing together. I mean, we have combinations where, for instance, I am a very lousy pilot, but I'm a very good gunner, which means I always try and team up with good pilots so we can make a combo in the chopper or make a combo in a tank. I actually is a good driver of tanks, but it could still mean the difference in the long run in the game. So I'm hoping that we're gonna let Squirrel give me some more time on one of his videos, and I will try and give out some thoughts on tips and strategies. And by all means, if you like us, visit our server, try join in, and I'll try and sort out so we're gonna be more mixed. But it's a common issue that can become a big problem because everybody wants to play with each other, and obviously it's gonna be uneven since we're gonna have random guys on the other side. If we put that aside, I can say that even the best high-ranking players of Squirrels and myself and others have been losing games to random players, and we're also being literally ran over and destroyed by other teams that joined in and played against us as teams, mostly other platoons, where we had some instance where I think we had like 6 guys from the same platoon or clan, so to say, that jumped in, and they wiped us clean out of everything. I think we had 2 or 3 games in a row with a loss, and then they left. So sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. I actually think that if you try and squad up, if you try and play the objectives, even if you lose, you will have gained more experience than if you're in a side where the side is totally dominating. I've also had the pleasure to be playing on a lot of other servers and servers in general, where we have been in a position where we are totally dominated by the other side, but we are more or less turning it around and fighting back really hard and evening out the odds. It's quite fun. It can be frustrating, but it can also give you an opportunity to become a better player. This was all for me in my first time speaking, and I might be popping back very soon again. I am trying to give you a second video or audio feed with some tips and tricks on how to become a better squad and become a better platoon as well. And hopefully the Squirrels Nuts will let me on to talk more about that later on. But for now, hooah and see you on the battlefield.